lifestyle. Now, here are your hosts, Chardell Moore and Christina Denny.
Well, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and today we're getting the facts about this disease and hearing from a young survivor.
Jasmine Petros is this week's Go Girl, along with Dr. Kavita Kalra, an expert in this field. Thank you both so much for joining us. This is an important topic.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. Jasmine, let's start with you. Colon cancer, I mean, you don't really hear that with people your age. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
Yeah, it's very rare. I was 23 years old, and I was diagnosed in March around this time. I had abdominal pains. I was very tired, fatigued, and had blood in my stool, which was the biggest one.
Gotcha.
And honestly, I waited a whole year life got in the way. And it was just so much blood one day, and I decided to go to a doctor, and my doctor referred me to a gastro. Then they said, well, let's do a stool kit, and I did. And when I did the stool kit, it came back with blood in your stool, and they said, let's do a colonoscopy, and that's when they found that it was a 50% chance that you had cancer, and it was pretty much the size of a peach.
Wow. That's significant for sure. So, doctor, talk to us about some other signs and symptoms and the 5 stages of colon cancer.
Sure. As Jasmine mentioned, typically most people will present with abdominal pain. Sometimes you'll have diarrhea, blood in the stool. Sometimes it may just be silent, and that's why it's very important to do screening, especially in an average risk person. We start screening at around age 50. So in terms of the stages, most cancers are staged in what we call TNM staging, and they go from stage 1 to 4. Sometimes we add stage 0, and that's sort of the very early stages.
Gotcha.
And I think in general, stage 0 is sort of where we want to catch this, and if we should be able to, in most people, to get it there if we do a good job in screening.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And we have up on the screen right now some of those risk factors. So those included age, as you mentioned, race, and I'm sure there are a lot of other things that also go into it, your diet, exercise, all of that.
So what can we do to actually prevent this disease? Is there things that we can apply in our daily lives?
Absolutely. I mean, eating a healthy diet is always important, and there is actually some data in colon cancer that suggests high fiber diets, low fat diets are actually very good.
Okay.
In terms of getting a healthy exercise regimen is also good, maintaining a good body weight.
Right.
You should, obviously, I cannot understress the importance of screening here. Now, unfortunately, in Jasmine's case, that would not have picked it up because she was much younger. We typically see it in older patients, so like I said earlier, we start screening it around age 50. Now, that may be sooner if you have a strong family history of colon cancer. There are certain hereditary genes that are linked with it, and if somebody has those, then obviously we might start screening them earlier.
Wow. And Jasmine, let's go back to you right now. When you were diagnosed, how has your journey been? Did you have a strong support system helping you through this process?
Yes, I had a strong support system, and I mean, God is amazing, I want to say, and without God, I wouldn't have got through this. Without my family, without my friends, I wouldn't have gotten through this. My real friends, there were times when I felt low. Going through that chemo and going through radiation was very tough. Very, very tough. I mean, there would be some times when I was very nauseous. With radiation, it burned after a while. It was like a full-time job, like going there, keeping your bladder full, getting the scans, and I had to also get my eggs frozen because there was a chance that I wouldn't be able to have kids. And getting those shots every day in my stomach was like terrifying, first off, because everyone knows I hate shots.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I had to do what I had to do.
Exactly.
And,
for your health.
my grandparents were there. They came from Florida to be with me while my mom and my brother were working. My dad he couldn't be there. My aunts, cousins, everybody. My grandmother that just recently passed away in December, she was my inspirational guidance. She told me that God's got you, put it in his hands. And once I did that,
And here you are.
Blessings.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You're such a strong young woman.
You are, absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you. I
definitely very
appreciate it.
inspiring.
So Dr. Jasmine mentioned a few of the treatments that she went through, including chemo. What are some typical treatments that people go through? I'm sure it's dependent on what stage they're in once they find it, but tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely, and I think while I'll say a few things, I would want to make sure that people don't take that. It's very individualized. So in general, for earlier stages of colon cancer, surgery is enough. Sometimes just a polypectomy, which is taking out the polyp, is enough. But oftentimes when you are dealing with stage 3 or higher, sometimes even stage 2, you may add chemotherapy. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll add radiation. So it's very individualized. It really depends on the person, where exactly the tumor is located, and what are we trying to achieve. Typically, we are trying to achieve a cure in most colon cancers. Stage 4 is when it has spread to other parts of your body, but in 2017, 2018 world, we still try to achieve a cure for some of those patients. And there are new treatments coming every day, and we're doing better and better.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes.
Jasmine, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you, doctor,
Thank you
for
both
coming
for
here.
being here.
Where can our viewers find more information about colon cancer?
So the American Cancer Society obviously is a great resource. There is also the NCI, or the National Cancer Institute. That's a great resource for everybody to look up information online.
Great. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you've both been with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.